I've never met Mr. Eminem, and to have him, I've always admired him, and to have him do something like that was pretty painful as an artist to another artist.
If we were to say to you the names Michael Jackson and Eminem, then ask you to tell us what these two had in common, you could probably say quite a few things. They were icons in the music industry, and Eminem still is in his own way. Both were groundbreaking in terms of how they did their music. Eminem for being a successful white rapper, and Michael Jackson using music videos as global events before it was popular, and that they had been in trouble with the law at times. But most people forget that at one time, Eminem's music literally connected them both monetarily. We'll break down this history lesson for you. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. How it all started. So what exactly are we talking about here? Well, once upon a time, Michael Jackson got revenge on Eminem by buying out his entire catalog of music. How did that come to be? Well, when it comes to revenge, you usually have to have something done to you. Michael Jackson was devastated when Eminem cruelly mocked him in the demeaning and outrageous music video to his hit song, Just Lose It, which was filled with cruel and mocking images and references to the star's personal life. This video depicted a caricatured version of the star, mocking the artist's changing face, legal problems, and a traumatic incident that had put the singer in the hospital. Eminem is dressed up as Jackson before his nose appears to fall off, a reference to the Billie Jean singer's plastic surgery on his nose. The character's hair also catches on fire, which references Jackson's real hair being set alight during the filming of a Pepsi advert in 1984, leaving him with some severe burns. In short, Eminem went for a lot of low blows. A devastated Jackson tried to get the video banned and said, "I am very angry at Eminem's depiction of me in his video. I feel that it is outrageous and disrespectful. It is one thing to spoof, but it is another to be demeaning and insensitive." And the song lyrics, Eminem raps, "Come here, little kitty on my lap. Guess who's back with a brand new rap?" And I don't mean rap as in a new case of child. We're pretty sure we don't have to explain that one, do we? But yeah, that was a serious blow to given the time period and how Jackson was being viewed in the world. Eminem's song and video were both extremely successful, but Jackson was understandably very unhappy about being made fun of so publicly, let alone by a rapper. Though, to be clear, this was in 2005, when Eminem was in his rap prime and outselling everyone in the world. So it wasn't just a rapper mocking him, it was the rapper. Naturally, Michael Jackson had a lot to say about this video and song, and how he was depicted in it. Speaking in an interview with the Los Angeles radio station, Jackson announced, "I've admired Eminem as an artist and was shocked by this. The video was inappropriate and disrespectful to me, my children, my family, and the community at large." The Thriller singer also said in another interview, "I've never met Eminem, and I've always admired him. And to have him do something like that has been pretty painful." It was also announced by Jackson's estate that he was threatening to sue Eminem for the public slight. Jackson followed up his complaints with a request to all music channels to take the music videos off air. Black Entertainment Television was the only channel to pull the video. Its founder, Robert Johnson, said, "BET pulled the video because we feel it is inappropriate to use our network to air a video disparaging Michael's career or that of any other celebrity." Shortly after, Eminem was asked about this music video and his thoughts on how he made Jackson upset. Eminem simply responded, "I apologize for that." In other words, he didn't apologize for that, not at all. That definitely wasn't how Eminem rolled back in the day. So then the question became, how would Michael Jackson respond? Oh, he responded in good time. The Purchase. 3 years later, in 2007, Jackson's company Sony ATV purchased the publishing company Famous Music for $370 million. This purchase meant that Jackson actually owned all of Eminem's back catalog until his death in 2009. For those who aren't in the know with the inner workings of the music industry, this was a very important deal for various reasons. You see, when a singer makes a song, there's multiple versions of it made, but the key one the one that makes the money is the master recordings. And per most contracts, including Eminem's at the time, most master recordings are owned by the studio. Master recordings earn revenue through multiple avenues, including streaming and consumption, sampling, public broadcasts, use in television, film, and commercials. They've also become a hot property on Wall Street, as funds like Mercuriadis Hypnosis songs have snapped up catalogs from the likes of Timbaland and Eurythmics, Dave Stewart, to Jack Antonoff and Jeff Basker. Between March 2019 and March 2020, the company spent nearly $700 million to acquire 42 catalogs. But getting back to Eminem and Michael Jackson, by Jackson owning these catalogs, master recordings, which including some of Eminem's biggest songs ever, as this was brought during his prime in many ways, that meant that Michael Jackson was actually earning money every time Eminem did via his tracks. Yes, granted, he likely didn't make that money right off the bat, as he had to go and spread $370 million in order to get those master recordings. But for the time leading up to his death in 2009, when Eminem released the track via Famous Music, or had a back catalog track go and sell for one reason or another, Eminem got royalties. But the big money deals went to the company and Michael Jackson. That no doubt made Michael Jackson smile and Eminem fume. Eminem had the publishing rights to his music returned in 2016, long after Jackson's death. But that was 9 years of him not owning some of his best tracks in full, and that no doubt was a big blow to him. If the idea of someone buying catalogs sounds familiar, it's because it should be. You see, in 2019, another revenge plot, if you will, happened via the one and only Taylor Swift. Because in June 2019, news broke of the purchase by Big Machine Records, the label founded in 2005 by Scott Borchetta, that released Taylor Swift's first 6 studio albums, including 2017's Reputation by talent manager Scooter Braun's company, Ithaca Holdings. Though Swift parted ways with Big Machine in 2018, landing a deal at Universal Music Group for her then upcoming album, Lover, Big Machine retained the master recordings for her back catalog. Now, those are in Braun's hands. Swift took to Tumblr to share her disdain for the deal, adding that she only learned of it when the news became public. "This is my worst case scenario," she wrote. "This is what happens when you sign a deal at 15 to someone for whom the term loyalty is clearly just a contractual concept." Borchetta claims he texted Swift on Saturday night informing her of the sale, citing manipulative bullying by Braun and his clients, including Kim Kardashian West, Kanye West, and Justin Bieber. Swift claims in her Tumblr statement that Scooter has stripped me of my life's work, that I wasn't given an opportunity to buy. Essentially, my musical legacy is about to lie in the hands of someone who tried to dismantle it. So you see, this is a hot topic issue and not one that can be ignored, especially since last November, Scooter went and sold her master recordings. He apparently brought them originally for $140 million, but then sold them for between $300 to $45 million, depending on who you talk to. That's an insane profit margin, wouldn't you say? And Taylor Swift had been livid due to this, because once again, she was denied the chance to buy back her master recordings. Trust us, she's able to pay high amounts for it, in lieu of a big business deal that denies her the music that she made. Granted, she can start re-recording her tracks to make them her own again, but the pain is still going to be there. The rights of musicians. Some of you are no doubt a bit confused as to all the controversy about the master recordings. But what it really boils down to is the rights when you're starting to make music and the rights once you make it big. Because for both Eminem and Taylor Swift, and even Michael Jackson in a way, their success wasn't guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. And most music publishing companies know that whenever they sign an artist. Yes, they could be big, but that's not a guarantee, and as such, they need to protect themselves by giving themselves the ability to make the most amount of money at the start. And thus, pretty much all music companies get the master recordings when they sign a new artist. It may not be the most popular thing in the music industry, but it's something that happened for many, many years. Even the Beatles didn't have all their master recordings for a long time. And Michael Jackson bought some of them too, ironically enough. But therein lies the problem, because whether you want to view it from a personal or business viewpoint, the music is the musicians. They're the ones who sing it. And while the publisher does help make it shine and distribute it, it's useless without the singer. And in lieu of what happened to Taylor Swift, many artists have been working hard to go and get their master recordings under their own control so that they don't deal with this kind of thing happening to them. Others, like Swift and her second deal via Universal, get all their master recordings outright, and as such don't have to stress about this. But it's far from a standard as of yet, and many, like Swift, are trying to advocate for this kind of change so that musicians aren't caught off guard, like she and Eminem were, and lose a large part of themselves due to someone's desire to go and be greedy or get revenge. Here's the thing. When it came to the Michael Jackson purchase of Eminem's music, it was seen as a master stroke of revenge and more. Eminem did a diss. Michael Jackson hurt him in the worst way he could by taking his music and the money he got from it in certain ways. But when it comes to praising the move, you need to remember certain things. Not the least of which is that you could easily view this move as him trying to change the story about why he made that deal. Because don't forget, the song Just Lose It made references to the very dark nature of Michael Jackson. And while this may have been seen as a boss move, that doesn't mean it changes what Michael Jackson did. A topic that has been brought up a lot in recent days. Was it clever for Michael to do this? Sure. But does it change who he was? And that Eminem was honestly right to call him out like he did in the song? Nope. And there you go, everyone. A look at the time when Michael Jackson literally owned a large section of Eminem's music as revenge for how Eminem treated him during Just Lose It. Did you know about this piece of music history beforehand? What part of it did you find the most shocking? Does it change your opinion of Michael Jackson slightly? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.